But Arda, can you explain to people like why you have a history with NHL '94?
Yeah, so also full disclosure, I do the play-by-play commentary for the NHL Gaming World Championship, which is the National Hockey League's official esports offering. They do a tournament every year on the latest release, which is now NHL 20 in this case. And so we do an official tournament every year, and I do the commentary for it. But I also have done commentary for the World NHL 94 Championships, which is a lot of fun. That is a much different vibe. It is definitely a cottage industry of people in and around my age. Don't want to reveal that here. You can take your own guesses on what that age range is. But basically, a lot of people who grew up loving this game and continue to play the game and now get together. It's almost like a family vibe of people that come together and play this game and just love it because it's such a good game. And a lot of people will ask the question if they hear this, why NHL 94? There have been so many titles. Why is this one so important in the history of NHL, or rather hockey video games? There's a
Because it was
specific...
featured in Mallrats?
That too. Actually, that is a misconception. It is said to be NHL 94, but the game they're actually playing in the movie is NHL 93. Or in Rounders, sorry. In Rounders.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
Scandal.
And actually,
you heard it here, folks.
that's right.
I know.
So, what you talked about earlier about fighting being removed in the game, in NHL 94, blood was also removed from the game. So,
I
what
imagine
you
so,
see, yeah, in Rounders...
They replaced it with pudding?
That's right. It was pudding. It was just a giant glob of pudding coming out of someone's brain when
Inside
they get
information.
Yeah, exactly. So in NHLPA 90, so this is the timeline of the 16-bit NHL games. It started in 1991 with NHL hockey. That was the very first one. That one included the actual NHL licensed teams. So you would have the New York Rangers, Chicago Blackhawks, etc., all the teams in the NHL, but no player names. So the NHL Players Association, the union of actual players, was not involved in that release. So then, fast forward a year, NHLPA 93. That is the one where we got the fighting. That is the one where we got the blood. The National Hockey League at the time said, we don't want to be associated with that. We know that it's in the game, but we don't want it to be in the video game. So a switch was made, and that's why that game is called NHLPA 93, because the players are in the game, but the teams are not. It's actual just city names, like Toronto versus Long Island.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
It's kind of like the early NFL games too, actually, because like I know
Right.
some games had like just the teams but not the players, and then like vice versa as well. So yeah.
Exactly. So then, fast forward, EA Sports at the time decided, listen, we have to find a marriage here because we do want the team names and we do want the player names in there as well. So there was a coordinated effort between the developer, EA Sports, and the Players Association, and also the National Hockey League entity to try and make this work. And one of the conditions for the NHL to get back into the game, at least in 1993, was please remove fighting and blood from the game. And so that's why in NHL 94, blood and fighting is removed in the game. Now, eventually they do concede and it does get back into the game in later in the series, but that's why particularly NHL 94. So why is this game so revered? NHL 94 was actually the introduction of a lot of mechanics that are still popular today. The one-timer is the biggest one people point to. The instant pass and shot that is renowned in any hockey video game ever, that debuted in NHL 94, and it was very smoothly executed. It's still the best way to score in NHL 94, and realistically, it's the best way to score in NHL 20 also. So like that tradition still stays on, and the mechanics were so sound in 94 that it still stands up today as a fun game to play.